You are 23 years old, sitting in a cramped office above a high-street insurance broker in Croydon. Your job is simple: scan spreadsheets and flag suspicious claims, fraudulent accidents, inflated repairs, staged burglaries. The numbers rarely lie. At 9:12 a.m., something catches your attention. A name appears across 3 separate claims tied to different addresses across London. Different victims, different locations, but the same repair company, the same lawyer. Something about the pattern feels wrong. You dig further. The addresses belong to short-term rental flats, payments made in cash, no employment records, no stable history. And then you see it. Every claim lists the same emergency contact number. You run the number through open databases. It belongs to a charity that technically no longer exists, a humanitarian relief group dissolved 2 years earlier after a financial investigation. You print the evidence and take it upstairs. Normally, your supervisor dismisses patterns like this as organized fraud.
But this time, he studies the sheet longer than usual, then quietly asks you to leave the papers with him. At 11:30 a.m., 2 men arrive. They don't introduce themselves as police. They don't need to. They ask for you by name and drive you across the city, asking how you noticed the pattern and what else you saw. When the car stops outside a government building with no sign, one of them finally says the word, MI5. They spread your documents across the table and add their own files, surveillance photos, intelligence reports. You recognize one of the faces immediately. The man listed as the emergency contact is on a watch list. What you believed was insurance fraud is actually financial cover for a network suspected of funneling money to extremist groups inside London. They ask why you noticed the pattern when others didn't. You answer with the only truth you have, because it looked wrong. The officer studies you silently before speaking. You see patterns most people miss. We need people who see patterns. 3 months later, you resign from the insurance firm without explanation. 6 months later, you walk through the secure gates of Thames House for the first time. The training isn't glamorous. No gadgets, no dramatic chases. The real work is patience, discipline, and understanding how much responsibility comes with knowing something others don't. You learn that terror networks rarely look dramatic. They are quiet webs of money transfers, encrypted messages, and ordinary people who disappear into cities. London is the perfect cover. 9 million residents, endless financial channels, a city where a stranger disappears in seconds. You begin in data analysis. Thousands of data points flow through internal systems every hour. The work feels similar to your old insurance job, except now the consequences aren't money, they're lives. A courier company begins transporting small packages between Birmingham, East London, and Luton. Nothing illegal inside the packages, but the delivery schedule changes whenever certain individuals enter the country. He studies your analysis before asking a question that becomes the center of your career. What do you think they're hiding? You trace every shipment, every driver, every payment.
The vans aren't transporting messages, they're scouting routes.
Your report triggers the first operation you're allowed to observe. No chase, no gunfire, just quiet handcuffs. Inside the warehouse, investigators find maps, pressure cooker components, and timers. The attack would have killed dozens, and stopping it didn't feel heroic. It felt like paperwork.